You're listening to the Ordinary Joe's podcast with Joe D and Eric B. The Ordinary Joe's podcast.
All right, we are back with another podcast. Sorry we missed last week. There was a lot of things going around, a lot of things going on. Joe had some personal stuff to do. Plus, it gave me time to just fix up my whole podcast setup, and touch more about that later on. But as you can tell, we are wearing our hats, our team hats right here. Don't know how long this is going to be on, but you know, we're going to keep it on as long as we can, because today we're going to talk about NFL playoffs and the teams that we both like. Him from the East Coast representing the Giants, me from the West representing the Niners, and talk about our memories, our Super Bowl playoff memories. And there's a few that happened while I already knew Joe that, you know, made me hate New York even more. So let's go ahead and get this going. I am Eric B.
And I'm Joe D. And we are
The Ordinary
Joes.
All right, Joe. Here we go. I got some sound bites too that I'm going to use.
Awesome.
And you know, today I don't care if YouTube flags us. I'm going to use them anyways, just because it's fun. It's fun to have sound bites and go down memory lane. And there's one memory lane made me hate the Giants so much. But let's start with the current. Let's go with the current seasons right now. Ask you a question. Are you the type where you're an NFC East guy? Mm-hmm. And looking at the bracket right now, there is no NFC East teams in the playoffs. As of yesterday, there was one NFC West team in the playoffs, and the Rams just got eliminated by the Packers. So are you the type that'll pick the NFC, or if there was an NFC East representing, would you stick with the NFC East?
No, not at all. I fucking hate the NFC East.
Okay.
Every last one of them. The Eagles more than all the other ones, but no, there's just too much rivalry there for me to ever go for any of those teams. But outside of them, I usually go for NFC teams. I don't know why. Probably just because, you know, you're just used to watching them play so much, so you get to know the players more than you do, like say AFC or something like that, or even NFC West. You know, growing up on the East Coast, so. But yeah, I would say usually I'll probably go for another NFC team.
Okay. I'm kind of the same. I would pick that. Like if I'm looking at the teams right now that's in the NFC, you got Tampa Bay Saints, who's currently playing, Green Bay, who's made it. I would probably actually it's funny because I called a week ago. I called Tampa Bay and Bills in the Super Bowl. But I kind of like Aaron Rodgers because local boy, you know, stupid 49ers should have drafted him, except for Alex Smith. I got love for you, man, but man, Aaron Rodgers should have been our quarterback. So yeah, I'm kind of, you know, I want to see Aaron Rodgers win. I don't want to see Green Bay win. I want to see Aaron Rodgers win. So it's kind of a mixed bag. So
yeah, it's a toughie. Like me and a couple guys at work, the beginning of the playoffs, you know, everybody just called out their picks for the Super Bowl. Nothing crazy. And so far, everyone, we'll see at the end of the game tonight with Tampa Bay and New Orleans. But I think it was 4 of us, and everyone's picks are still pretty much in Green Bay, the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Saints, and it's 4 of us, and it's a combination of those teams. So I don't know. It's going to be a close one. Me personally, I went with Green Bay and Kansas City. I mean, I think that's a safer bet. Not that I'm betting, but I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't think anybody on the NFC can take Green Bay at this point.
For you Kansas City fans, I'll tell you right now, when Patrick Mahomes got knocked out, I don't know if you watched the game. He got knocked out and came up woozy and went into straight concussion protocol. I was like, yes, because you never want to see, you know, how many times, Joe, have you seen the same team go to the Super Bowl and you don't want the same team to be in that Super Bowl again? We've done it with New England. You know, how many times has New England and Brady taken the Super Bowl? And I don't want to see Kansas City going to the Super. I mean, I'm pretty sure the Chiefs fans are like, you know, fuck you, we're all going to the Super Bowl. I'm pretty sure they're doing that. But yeah, I don't want to see the same team. It's like a boring Super Bowl if you see the same team.
I don't know. I'm actually on the other side of that. I kind of like when you have I don't know, teams that build a dynasty, that win either back to back or multiple within a few years, just because with free agency and how football sports are nowadays, you rarely see that anymore. It's usually a different team every year, and just teams are, especially like the NBA, that's freaking nuts.
Oh my God, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't mind that. I like seeing a team that everybody's trying to knock off.
Yeah.
That's fun to me. I don't know.
I always pick for the underdogs. I always pick for the underdogs. And right now, looking at the bracket, Tampa Bay's in the NFC is ranked number 5, which to me, I'm like, wow, Brady's number 5. And Cleveland, who just got knocked out, was number 6 in the AFC. I was really hoping Cleveland. I wanted to see Cleveland and the Bills in the AFC Championship because those are like old school, back in the old school days. That's the teams you'd always see. But, Browns couldn't do it. So we'll see how we go next week, see how things are.
Yeah. But real quickly, can we talk about, shout out to my boy Dre, Cleveland's spanking of Pittsburgh to make it to this week.
Yes.
That was unexpected.
Yes.
I wasn't surprised that they won. I could have seen them winning, but I didn't see that.
Wait. That was last week's game, right?
That was last week.
Did Pittsburgh even show up?
Into this week. What was that?
Did Pittsburgh even show up to that game?
I don't know. Somebody showed up. I don't know if it was Pittsburgh.
I saw 22 guys, 2 different colors, but I only saw one team actually show up and play.
Man, that was crazy. But yeah, man, my boy Dre back home is a big Steelers fan, and we let him have it in the group chat. Nice. So shout out to him.
Nice. Sorry, Dre. Better luck next year if you guys still have old man Roethlisberger as your quarterback. We'll see how that
maybe. Jeez.
We'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. I can't. There's not one particular team that I want to say this is who I'm going to win. Who I want to win. Definitely, I don't want Kansas City to be in there. Definitely don't want that. If I'd have to pick an AFC team, like I said, I went with with Buffalo. I want Buffalo to go out there and try to Josh Allen. I'm a big Josh Allen fan, and from him going to like, hey, we're about to dump you, to all of a sudden like he's the man in Buffalo, right? But and then on the NFC side, man, I want to see Aaron Rodgers. If this is his last year with Kansas City, I want to see him go out with a bang. So
you mean Green Bay?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Green Bay. Yeah, Green Bay. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, no, same here. I like Aaron Rodgers, man. He's a likable guy. You know what I mean? Yeah, and he's just, I love his composure, I guess. Yeah. He's played so many big games, and he just doesn't. It's hard to get him kind of like frazzled when he's out there. Yeah, and I'd like to see him win another one.
49ers, man, you guys screwed up, man. You guys could have had Aaron Rodgers. We could have had how many Super Bowls, but again, that's whatever.
Hey, it happens. We could have had Phillip Rivers, and I'm glad we didn't. Nothing against Phillip Rivers.
Didn't you guys have? But you did have Phillip Rivers.
We did have him,
and then you traded him, right?
Yeah.
See.
Yeah, because Eli, I forgot who he got traded. Who he got picked up by.
Eli didn't want to go to San Diego. That's what it was.
Yeah,
he was like,
and he had
not
asked
going to San Diego. Yeah,
like, please don't draft me, and they did anyway.
That's right. But see, San Diego got a good deal out of it because San Diego, New York Giants ended up giving them another draft pick in that same draft year to get Eli Manning.
Oh, okay.
But it worked out for you guys because Eli ended up winning a Super Bowl, and Phillip Rivers.
Two Super Bowls.
Two Super Bowls, yeah, with Eli. Did you see that new Eli commercial?
No, I don't think so.
It's like he's talking about what he's doing during retirement, and it's like he does not look good without a helmet. Where Peyton Manning is more Peyton Manning is comical, man. I love Peyton Manning in his commercials, but Eli, his commercial, I was like, is that Eli Manning? What the hell is he doing?
Yeah, he's a little stiff. Peyton's definitely got the I don't know, the presence.
Yeah.
He's funny. I love his what is that? Is it Nationwide? No, it's
Nationwide. Yeah. Nationwide. Yeah.
Oh, I love
Peyton
those.
something. I'm gonna eat this turkey sandwich.
Chicken parm. You look so good.
Oh man. All right, man. So question is that I have for you. You growing up in the East Coast and you're a big Giants fan as you guys take your football really serious, man. And the only reason why I found that out is, one, living through it, Niners and Giants in the 80s was kind of brutal to watch. There was a game for me that kind of killed me was 1986, and it's called The Massacre in the Meadows, right? Meadowlands, sorry. Niners was predicted to win that game, and the score ended up becoming 49-3 because of fucking Jim Burt. I don't know if you remember Jim Burt.
No, so that year was the year that was the first year that I was a Giants fan. I was 6 years old. The year prior to that, I think I've told the story in a past podcast where I was a Bears fan, a Jets fan, and a Giants fan, right? Because my sister was a Jets fan, my uncle was a Bears fan, my brother was a Giants fan. They're like, no, you got to pick one.
Pick a team.
So I had to live with my big brother. So I'm like, you know what? I don't want him to like beat me up all the time. Excuse me. So I went with the Giants.
Nice.
Then the next year they won the Super Bowl. So I was 6 years old. So I remember, the only thing honestly I remember is LT. Like he was the reason like I fell in love with football.
LT was a beast,
Lawrence
man.
Taylor.
Yeah, LT was a beast. And for you guys, a lot of high school kids wanted to wear the number 56 because of Lawrence Taylor, and we were like going on there. I don't want to wear number 50. I want to wear 56. Because Lawrence Taylor, like you said, he's a beast. He's a crazy guy. But that game in particular, and the reason why I hate that game so much is we had what it was supposed to be to win the Super Bowl. And the year before, I'm reading something right now. The year before, we had another game against you guys. The Niners was 15-1, and we ended up losing to you guys again, to the Giants that year. And it was just one of those things where it's like, dude, what's wrong with the Giants? It's like, but here I'm gonna play a snippet. It says 4 minutes, but I'm gonna try to play as much as I can of this play. This is that play, and this is the reason why the Niners ended up losing so much, is because Jim Burt. It was a dirty hit, but I guess in the 80s it was a clean hit, right? I mean, now in the football now it would have been dirty, but here, listen to this. Here we go.
Where he was going, it wasn't a screen. He just wanted to find another blue jersey.
First John Madden.
Montana back to throw. Going deep, it's going to be picked off by Lawrence Taylor. And he's got a lot of room to run.
Pick six. Montana's laying on the ground, fetal position.
Is down. Taylor is in the end zone. But Montana is hurt. Let me fast forward it to where they're going to talk about Jim Burt, how he ended up decking Montana. He decked him hard. I mean, nose tackle Jim Burt ended up playing with 49ers later on in his career. Here's the hit. Watch the hit. It was Jim Burt. Burt came through and unloaded on Montana. Montana just threw it out there. As you say, Lawrence Taylor was the only guy out there.
And the thing that sucks about that one hit, Joe Montana ended up having to get back surgery because he was hit so hard that the following year, the 87 year, it was like kind of like a washed up year for us. Because I don't know if we had Steve Young back in 87.
I don't know.
I don't remember. But yeah, it was one of those years. No, I think we had a kid by the name of, I want to say it was Matt Cavanaugh. We had a kid by the name of Matt Cavanaugh, but yeah, man, that's the game that made me hate the New York Giants moving forward. I mean, the year before, I was kind of like, all right, whatever, it's like, okay, whatever. Yeah. But that year, I was like, man, fuck the Giants, man. What the hell? You guys just took out our quarterback. And then it's like, again, if you watch that, if you guys want to watch it, go on YouTube, the 86 NFC playoffs. And that was a dirty hit. Joe Montana released the ball for like 4 seconds, and Jim Burt just like killed him.
I want to go YouTube that game now. Because, like I said, I was so young. For me, what the year that made me hate the Niners was a few years after that was 1990 in the NFC Championship.
Hat's coming off. Getting hot.
Yeah, and that was the 1990 NFC Championship. with the Niners and Giants, and that was the year that year, man. Listen, I feel differently about certain family members after that game. That was when I was younger. My cousin he said, well, him and his sister said that they were Niners fans.
Yes,
and I was like, what? Like how I couldn't fathom how you could possibly be a fan of any other team when you from New York, lived in New York, and the Giants were that good. And me and my cousin bet each other $5. Now, mind you, neither one of us had $5. We didn't have $2 to our name, right? But we bet each other $5. And I was so upset that I had to go into my mom's room and watch the game by myself because I didn't want to be around them. I was like, I can't. Like, I just felt like they were traitors. And I don't know. I guess you remember it was a tight one. Matty Barr, man. Matt Barr, the kicker of the Giants, he was the hero of that game. I mean, I think he was he might have been the only one that scored. Or there might have been a safety or something like that.
I have it pulled up. Not sure what the final score was, but I have the whole thing pulled up. That game was called There Will Be No Three-Peat.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know, why was it called There'll Be No Three-Peat?
Because the Niners
that's right.
were going for a three-peat.
Right, that's right. 87. Was it 87, 88?
No.
88,
89,
right,
and then that was 90. That's right.
We just won the back-to-back. That's right. And yeah, there will be no three-peat. And it's funny because I was trying to look for that sound because Pat Summerall, you mentioned John Madden. Pat Summerall, his sidekick, actually said there'll be no three-peat. And that's how he got the name. There'll be no three-peat.
Yep.
Man, that kills me.
Came down to a kick, and it was funny because the Giants ended up winning the Super Bowl that year.
Yes.
Against the Bills. And it was like kind of reverse. It came down to a field goal, and the Bills shanked it, and then that started the 4-year Super Bowl loss run for the for the Bills. Sorry for those guys, but yeah, that was for me. That solidified me as a Giants fan. I mean, that was it. I remember I watched that game by myself. My parents were at a bar. My dad was in a Super Bowl pool at work, and him and a bunch of guys from work and their wives, they all went to some Super Bowl party. So I was at home. I had this big, huge piece of paper by myself. They gave me money to order pizza and wings, and I drew this big sign. I remember, like, "Go Giants," and funny enough, might even had Mickey on it. It was really bad, but like Mickey I had a blast, and my dad won like $200 on that game, so he was on top of the world when he got home. Like that was a big party. That was a good year.
Here's $1, Joe. Here's $1.
Yeah, yeah. Why'd you eat all the pizza?
But you won 200. But here's $1. Here's $1. Man, I mean, my first memorable Super Bowl. It's funny because the '81 season when the 49ers, the whole Cincinnati Bengals. I grew up kind of like you, where I kind of like certain teams. I grew up watching the Raiders, and I grew up watching the Cowboys. And I think I told you why is because I was a big fan of Tony Dorsett and a big fan of Marcus Allen. So when you're watching football and you hear those two guys' names, you're like, hey. And I grew up not a Bears fan, but I grew up liking Walter Payton. Right?
Yeah.
Running backs. I was a big running back fan back then. I don't know why. And when the Niners made it to the Super Bowl, I was like, who's their running back? They didn't really have a solid running back that I wanted to watch. So 81 comes, they're in the Super Bowl, they win the Super Bowl, and I'm like, okay, the Niners won the Super Bowl. But that same night, my dad, I don't know what happened, but he decided, we were in my aunt's house in Daly City. We decided to drive down to Market Street. I don't know why he wanted to, but man, I saw the fans and how they were just like, back then it was just a nice celebration. They weren't burning buses or anything like that. And they were just like, hey, Niners won a Super Bowl. And they were all happy. And I was like, wow,
that's awesome.
Like, this is cool. And then they showed the Super Bowl parade. I was watching it on TV, and I just remember Joe Montana raising the trophy going, this is one, and we want more. And when he said that, I was like, I'm a Niner fan.
Yeah.
I'm a Niner fan all of a sudden. Yeah. And ever since then, it was just like, you have your I don't know what you guys call them in New York, but we call them the faithfuls out here. Same. Win or lose, we're faithfuls. So I don't know what the saying is in New York.
I mean, I guess it's we say the same. I don't know if that's a common term or what, but yeah, it's the same because New York City, it's so big, and then there's 2 teams.
Yeah.
Nobody really, not a lot of Bills fans, but out of all those fans, you really do just have, I would probably say more like diehards. We would probably call them, but what I noticed, and I don't know if you have any insight on this, but I was surprised to see how many on the West Coast anyway, how many Cowboys fans are here. Like I don't get it. Was maybe it was before I I don't know. I can't stand the Cowboys.
I worked with a dude for the longest time that grew up in Los Angeles. He grew up like Compton, those kind of areas, but was a big Cowboy fan. And I'm like, I can see you being a Rams fan or a Raider fan, maybe even being a Charger fan, but how the hell are you a Cowboy fan? He didn't know why. He was a Cowboy fan. I mean, he could have been the same reason why I was a Cowboy fan, because they were the dynasty back in the days. But yeah, I'm kind of the same. I'm like, just like you, like, why is there so many Cowboy fans in the West Coast?
Yeah.
Out of all the NFC teams I mean, why Cowboys?
Yeah.
Why Cowboys? No. What kills me the most is you just mentioned there's not a lot of Bills fans, right? What if they win the Super Bowl this year? Do you think the Bills, the closet Bills fans, or the Jets fans, the Giants fans, you think they'll migrate over and become Bills fans because the Bills won the Super Bowl?
I think there's always bandwagoners.
Yeah.
No matter who wins. But Buffalo's still pretty far from New York City. I mean, I feel like back in the days you probably had more Bills fans, but growing up when I lived in New York and really into sports, it was pretty much Jets and Giants. I didn't really see if the thing too in New York though is like fashion is kind of like the thing as well. So you'll find a lot of times people will wear, a hat or jersey or something just because it goes with their sneakers, not necessarily because they're a fan. So you get that a lot too. So it's hard to tell. That's why, when you go to the games and to the tailgates and stuff like that, that's when you really find like the diehards and the true fans.
I totally understand.
Because I mean, there's a lot of all of a sudden we've seen a lot of Chief fans, come out of the blue, and and I don't mind if it's someone who's just getting into football, and this is your first year watching it. I get it. You want to, they're the champions. That's what probably attracted you to it. I don't mind that so much, but it's the people that flip flop or just I don't know. One year they're this fan and next year they're this fan. It's like, come on. You're the ones that ruin the Super Bowl and make it a spectacle. And I just want to watch the game. I don't want to watch a million performers that I can't stand,
It was that one year when the Niners made the Super Bowl, just this past year where, Garoppolo and all that. And I had coworkers who were like, hey, I'm a big Niner fan. You have a jersey I can borrow or a shirt? I'm like, for what? Like, I'm going to a Super Bowl party. I'm like, well, if you're a big fan, you should have already had something in your closet. It's like dude, I can go in my closet. I got a Montana. I got a Lott jersey. I got a Clark jersey. Yeah. You don't have to wear the most recent. Just wear a jersey. It's like, you can't tell me. Yeah, it's like, I hate that, man. Especially like here in the Bay Area, like, switch the teams for a minute. The Warriors, when they went on their championship run, man. Like, dude, all of a sudden everyone's a Warrior fan. It's like, where were you when they sucked?
Yeah.
So
I was here for that. Like, I got to witness that with my own eyes. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Why don't you just wear a LeBron jersey?
Yeah. Like, everyone wore Giants gear when for the first few years I was here.
That's right. You were
Warriors take off, and that's it. It just switched blue and gold.
San Francisco Giants. That's what Joe is meaning. San Francisco Giants.
Right. Sorry.
New York Jets. That's right.
Sorry, San Francisco.
It was funny because one year I want to share a hotel story with you. One year when the San Francisco Giants won the Super Bowl, the World Series. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Me and Joe was on Market Street and everybody was like, go Giants, go Giants. And then Joe was like, being the guy that he is, like, yeah, go Giants. And then as soon as they walk by, New York, New York Giants. New York Giants.
Yeah. Because there was a lot of people, so I don't want to be that guy to be like, I'm a Mets fan. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to get beat up on markets. So I just figured this is a happy medium.
Yeah.
I'll just New York.
Just switch it to New York. I mean, which is cool because I like people that stays loyal to their teams. You know, I mean, you know, like you said, I don't know how people become fans of other teams when they live in a city. If you're from Dallas, you grew up in Dallas and you're homebred Dallas, your family's in Dallas, be a Dallas Cowboy fan. Totally understand. But if you grew up in the Bay Area and you had two teams growing up in the Bay Area, you had the Niners and the Raiders, pick a team. But dude, don't go 3 different states over and pick a, you know, I don't get that. I don't get that.
I don't even mind, like, if you're from, say, the Bay Area and you say, oh, I like the Niners and the Raiders, I'll take that. That's fine. I don't care, because there's a lot of people that support their city no matter what. That's cool. But I just find it weird. I don't know. I get if you're not from there and it's like, all right, well, that makes sense. But a lot of times it just confuses me, you know.
Oh, God, it confuses all of us because, you know, if I met you and you're telling me you're a Jets fan, like, right, you're from New York, you're a Jets fan. And I even asked you this question, hey, what makes the difference between a Jets and a Giants fan? And you said a lot of it is either where you live or what you grew up liking, right? It's kind of how it is here in the Bay Area. You're a Niner fan if you grew up in San Francisco or the Peninsula. You're a Raider fan if you grew up in the East Coast. So for you guys who don't know, you know, the geography in the Bay Area, Oakland is right across the bay from San Francisco. It's the eastern part of San Francisco. And everything down that side from Oakland, Hayward, San Leandro, even as far as Fremont, are Raider fans. You know, they fly that silver and gold like with pride. Here on the Bay Area side, anything from San Francisco, Daly City, San Mateo usually are Niner fans. It's just I'm pretty sure that's how it is in the East Coast too, right? With the Jets and Giants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get a lot of Jets fans in like Queens, Jersey, but then for the most part, like Bronx, and actually you get a lot of Jets fans in Staten Island too. But I would say Manhattan, Bronx, Brooklyn, probably more Giants fans. But you know, it's a mix. It's a mix. I mean, there's a lot of shit talking when it comes time. Like even my family, like I don't know why, but my sister, I know why. My sister used to get free tickets from work to Jets games, so all of a sudden she became a Jets fan. But what would bother me, and I hope she's watching this. If she's not, I'll send it to her. Was like she would out of the blue start talking, you know, smack, and I'm like, bro, you don't even understand, like, the Giants and Jets aren't even the same division. We rarely even play each other. Like, how there's no competition, you know what I mean? But there's those people who, you see it in baseball too, Yankees and Mets, where they just want to hate the other side just because. I'm not like that. I grew up in the Bronx, so you know, I wouldn't say I'm a Yankees fan, but I don't hate the Yankees. If they're playing, I'm rooting for them unless they're playing against the Mets. Like, you know, that's kind of how I've been.
I mean, you know, prior to the Raiders moving to Las Vegas, you know, I was like, hey, you know, I always wanted to see a Raiders 49ers Super Bowl. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how you guys were in the East Coast. You'd want to see a Jets Giants Super Bowl because it's kind of a win-win. You know, it's like it's going to be money for the team that you guys are in and the city that's representing. So that's kind of how it is here. I was always hoping for a Niners-Raiders Super Bowl. And every year I say Raider-Niners Super Bowl. And that's not going to happen because now that, you know, I mean, it still can happen, but the Raiders are representing Las Vegas now. So it's, you know, not the same thing. But, man, I mean, growing up here in the Bay Area, you know, we're spoiled. And let me just run down the 49ers NFL championships, 81, 84, 88, 89, 94. The Giants, you guys had a little bit more, 1927, 34, 38, 56, 86, 90, 2007, and the most current 2011. Your Super Bowl appearance for the Giants, 86, 90, 2000, 2007, 2011. And what, you guys lost... You guys didn't lose any of those, right? You guys won all of them.
We lost all of those. We lost in 2000, 2001 to the Ravens.
Okay, that's right, 2000. Okay, I see that.
One of those.
Niners appearance 81, 84, 88, 89, 94. Then the 2 losses in 2012 and 2019. We're different coasts, but it's kind of similar to, you guys just been to the championship a lot more than we have, because New York Giants have been around for a while. So
one of the original teams, I think.
Yeah, one of the original, the San Francisco Giants, when they lived in New York, took the name the New York Giants because of the Giants. But man, growing up and just watching them evolve from, you and I are both at this boat right now where we were spoiled for a little bit.
Yeah.
And now we're both like, oh, damn, now what?
It's like, and the thing is, it's like we're kind of going through similar things where it was a rebuilding stage, and I feel like you guys are a little further along with your amazing defense.
Yeah.
And it's like we're just all right, we're almost there, and then football injuries, and it's like
COVID,
and then COVID didn't help, and then it's like now you're back to square one again. So, I mean that's sports. But I'm happy with the Giants bounce back, and they still had a chance. It was out of their hands, but they made the best out of it.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, NFC East was, everyone was 5 and whatever, and had a chance to win. Had a chance to win the title. And shout out.
None of them deserve to be in there. Let's just put it that way.
To the Redskins for making it. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute, we're 6 and something, and the Giants are 5 and something, and they can make a wild card. Jeez, what's wrong with this picture? But man, it's. Yeah. I mean, football to me, to you growing up in the East Coast, football was big for a lot of you guys, right? I mean, football, it was football. I don't know if you guys, maybe baseball, and then basketball was last for you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of how it was here. It was football. Then, we went through the crappy years where the Giants weren't that good. San Francisco Giants wasn't that good. And then, now it's like you can't have, how many times have you guys had a good football team? I'm talking about both AFC, NFC, and then that same year you had good baseball teams.
I mean, I would say the 90 with the what do you call it? The Yankees being good so long for so long in the 90s. I want to say there was probably a good chance at some point the Giants or the Jets were good. Around the same time as them, and the Mets too. The Mets had their some good years in the 2000s, and obviously in the 80s. So, it happens. Hockey's big too in New York.
That's right.
That's another one. I mean, I got into it for like a year. It was never really my thing.
Too fast for me, man. Too fast. And hockey is one of those sports where I think football's violent, man. Hockey to me is really violent.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Oh, actually, speaking of hockey, I think that 1994 season, the Knicks and I want to say maybe the Rangers were both in the championship.
Okay.
At the same time.
Yeah,
because that was the OJ year. That was
nice.
when he interrupted the Giants and the Rockets, I believe it was, that 94 year. So
OJ.
Yeah, that was 1 year. I mean, we had 2 sport champs or almost champs. Bastards.
When I first met you, there was a game that killed a lot of us in the hotel, and the only reason why it killed a lot of us is because of trying to cue it up. This is the play right here. It was the 2011 NFC Championship in Candlestick. You were there. And this is the sound right here.
On 7 straight third down tries after
Giants are punting.
Converting 5 of their first 7.
They're punting from the 1 yard line.
Weatherford hits the punt.
Get away, Kyle Williams! Get away!
And that ball
muffed
is touched by the Giants inside.
That's the one where it hit his knee, and he's like, "No, it didn't hit my knee." And then here's the commentator.
The Giants. Williams, Mike Pereira's with us.
Mike Pereira.
Mike, what'd you think of that call and the play?
Hey, listen, I think it clearly does touch him. And, the Giants, in my opinion, are going to get the ball here. They don't get the advance.
All right, so that's the first one. This fucker did it twice. And here's the second one. Same guy, same game. We're tied 17-17 here.
Weatherford hits it. Kyle Williams lost the ball. It's recovered by the Giants. Jaquan Williams, the rookie, knocked it out.
What kills me, we turned around that muff punt that he got, right? That when I hit him in the knee, and then we made it all the way to overtime, and was like, we stopped you from scoring, and we were like, all right, we have a chance to get the ball back, and all we needed was a field goal because you guys couldn't get that first touchdown. So all we needed was a field goal, and fucking Kyle Williams muffs the damn punt.
Gotta love it.
And then when he muffs the punt, he muffs it inside San Francisco territory. Not only was it like a muff punt, it was muffed inside San Francisco territory. Eli takes the ball, marches down the field, hits a field goal. Giants are going to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
That's what kills me about that damn game.
Look, it was destiny. We had to beat Brady and the Patriots again. It was written. There was nothing you guys could do about it. When you look, it barely touches his knee.
No. It's funny because I was always that guy where it's like, okay, we played football growing up, right? Mm-hmm. So when you see that ball, and if you guys watch the video, his knee's right here. The ball all of a sudden goes this direction and then turns directions. So I'm like, oh, fuck, that hit his knee. And I'm wishing so hard that the referees are like, no, didn't hit his knee. And then, oh man, it was just, I remember Nick that day, and Nick was like, fucking Joe, you're fucking Giants, all the fucking team. And was that the year we made the bet? Was that the year where?
No. So our bet actually wasn't on any big game. It was just regular season games.
Okay.
Because that was a little before.
Okay.
I was here, but I was still in stewarding. It was before I was in security for that.
For this 2011 game?
For the 2011
Okay.
game. Yeah. Okay. I had just started because I remember clearly because I was working in the kitchen and I turned around and no one was there. And I'm like, what the hell? So I was like, screw this. Why am I the only one working? So I threw down my stuff, took off my gloves, and I went downstairs, and I hear everybody in the cafeteria. And I look in, and it's like everyone's watching the game because they had the game set up in the employee lounge thing so they can watch the game. And you had all these guys from stewarding who, let's put it this way, most of them don't know anything about football. They like soccer, right? But they're all into the game. And there's a few guys from security there. And I come down there and I'm just like, I'm losing my mind, but I'm like, I'm trying not to be too excited, but I couldn't hold it in anymore.
Oh,
I'm just
man.
like exploding, like, yes.
Jeez.
Yes.
I mean, that game killed me just because it's like we had a chance to go to the Super Bowl for the first time since the 80s. And we blew it. And
it happens.
Kyle Williams blew it. And it's one of those where if he caught the ball, then we still don't know what happened, right? We still don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, like right when he blew it, this is what I kept hearing was going on. But it's like, oh, geez.
Yeah, that was a tough one because Vernon Davis was having a great game.
Yeah,
he had 2 touchdowns and that long one for like 73 yards. Like,
Smith,
Hakeem Nicks, our wide receiver, got hurt.
Oh my God, yeah. Alex Smith was like, everyone knows I'm a big Alex Smith fan, and when he was actually doing good against a good team, no one was saying like, oh, it's all all out of luck. No, he actually did well against the Giants, but Kyle Williams, who was in there because of an injury, I forget the name of the wide receiver that was supposed to be our normal punt returner, was injured, had a hamstring injury, so they put Kyle Williams as the punt returner. And man, yeah, it was like, it's like, oh God. But then the following year when you were working there, didn't we have another a game against each other? It was 2012, right?
after that, the Giants and Niners played a couple times in regular season, and that was when we placed our bets.
Okay.
The first one, which was
man,
that was so bad.
But see, like, okay, how many Super Bowls have you watched the Giants play and lose?
One.
Okay, I'm on my second one. I'm on my second one. Was it? Nah, not in a row. 2000, was it 2000? Okay. We made it 2012 and 2019. So there's a gap there. 2012 was the Kaepernick couldn't get the ball to Crabtree. Baltimore ends up winning the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, and then 2019 was the one just last year where fucking couldn't stop, you know. But I call that game a cheat, not a cheat, but because there was a lot of blown calls that the referees missed. There was
who was it?
Kansas City and the Niners.
Oh, Kansas City. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
How can I forget?
Yeah, how do you forget that, man? I won't forget because I know exactly who it was. But there was that one call where he stepped out of bounds on like the 2-yard line, and the referees called it a touchdown. But everyone's like, well, you know, they would have got the touchdown anyways later on. I'm like, well, you know, still,
you don't know.
It's a blown call.
Know.
Yeah, he could have fumbled the ball. It was a blown call, regardless. But man, it's, you know, watching Super Bowls, getting your hopes up. It's funny because in 2012, when the Niners made it to the Super Bowl, I was sitting on my couch, and my son looked at me and saw me crying. And looks over at his mom and goes, "Mom, why is Dad crying?" And then Mom was like, "Your dad's happy, son. Your dad's happy."
Yeah. I mean, some people don't get, you know, they say like, "Oh, why do you get so emotional? Why do you get so mad?" It's not like you're playing. It's like you don't understand.
You don't understand the emotions we go through.
What I have invested in this team.
Yep.
It's years of watching them, years of putting things on hold because the game is on this Sunday and cheering for them no matter what, even when they suck and they're bad. So it's like you've already gone through all the heartache. So now when they're doing good, this is why I'm like, you know, so emotional, because it's like, you know what I mean? It's just so much.
I'm a big fan. That's why.
Exactly.
And I had to explain to my son, like, you know, hey, you know what? The last time the 49ers was in the Super Bowl was 1994. They won that Super Bowl. It's now 2012, and they're finally back in the Super Bowl again. It's giving me an opportunity to actually go see my favorite team go from, you know, worst to, you know, I guess worst to first is what you want to call it. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, hey, my team's in the Super Bowl. I'm going to watch them. Yeah, of course I'm going to get emotional and cry. But it was one of those things where I don't know why I cried. Honestly, I don't know. I think I was just so ecstatic, so happy that they finally won and made it to the Super Bowl. And
my hair looks this incredible. Even in
sorry there. I was trying to catch the Tampa Bay Saints game, trying to see if there's any score updates. But man, yeah, it's just one of those things I try to implement to my kids now, like how important football season is, you know.
Yeah, no, it's true. Like, I mean, for me, I could say one of a moment similar to that for me, and this wasn't even when they had won yet anyway, but it was the 2007 Super Bowl, the Giants against the Patriots. Patriots were undefeated, 18-0, made it to the Super Bowl, and the Giants beat them, but it was the one play, the catch. It saved the drive, which eventually saved the game. And it was, you know, I want to say it might have been third or fourth down. Eli Manning is about to get demolished by the defense, somehow makes it out of this pile, swings around and passes the ball to David Tyree, who catches the ball with his helmet.
Yes.
Midair, you know, and this man is not letting go. I mean, it's just like stuck. It's like there was crazy glue on his helmet, and he just comes down because he has a defender on his back pulling him down.
I'm gonna find that sound.
Saves the drive. I was at my buddy F Price. Shout out to Ev from Woken Up Woke. I was at his house. Me and his brother literally jumped up and like hug. Mind you, we're not those type of guys where you're just hugging each other during the game or whatever, but he had the same feeling I had, was just like so much, like you said, so many years, so much
invested,
you put into this
yes.
team, and it's just like, yes. And then, like I said, they hadn't won yet, but it was just like, they're still in it. They still have a chance.
And they ended up winning. They beat the Patriots that year.
They did.
And it's funny because whenever a team goes undefeated, before I start, here's the sound to that game, just for you.
Came close to a game-ending interception. Well, that's about as demonstrative as you're going to see Eli Manning.
Here it is, right here.
Pressure from Thomas off the edge. Eli Manning stays on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree. Inside the 25, wow. And a timeout taken.
59 seconds left. That's the cool part. 59 seconds left, and you guys watch that. Go Google that on YouTube, man. Just like Joe said, the ball was right here on his helmet, and it was like, I'm gonna catch this, or we're not gonna win the Super Bowl. And he found a way to catch it. But yeah, man, it kills me about that. Every time a team goes undefeated through everything, and then they finally lose, the one fucking team that always kills me is the fucking Miami Dolphins. Because, they had that perfect season, right? They had that perfect season. So I forget which player it is that they showed this year. He always lights a cigar. He has like some cognac in his hand. And then he shows off his Super Bowl ring. And he's like, yep, we're still the undefeated team. It's like, dude, come on, man. You guys played 14 games back then. You guys went 14-0. That's the reason why you guys went undefeated.
And their record still stands because technically the Patriots ended 18-1. They couldn't finish it. Giants ruined the perfect season for them.
Jesus. Yeah, so I don't know if I ever want to see a team go undefeated and win a Super Bowl. I don't know. It's one of those things where, as a sports guy loving football, it'd be nice to see. Whenever a baseball player or a pitcher pitches a no-hitter, I'm like happy for that player. Right. But I don't know if I want to see a team go undefeated and win the Super Bowl if it's not my team, Yeah,
right.
Of course, if it was your team, you'd be like, yes, the Giants did it.
Yeah. I love when teams get close. I love the unnecessary pressure that's put on them, and then they have to question whether or not they're going to play their starters when they should or shouldn't. I love when that stuff happens. To me, like, that's the best part of teams trying to go undefeated, because it really messes with them. I think it messed with the Patriots. That was part of their loss, but the Giants were on a tear, man. That year.
How do you feel about that, though? How do you feel about players or teams where you're about to go in the playoffs? You pretty much have the playoff in the bag, and all you got to do is just survive another day. How do you feel about teams sitting their starters, their money makers, to save them for the playoffs? Do you think that's something they should do, or
I don't mind it. I think it's kind of, we don't know what goes on behind the doors with each team. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe he's got a back thing or a foot thing, so they want to give him a little rest. That stuff I get. But if they're doing it solely, I don't know. I guess if it's a tactic, if you have guys that have the mental fortitude where they can take that sort of rest and not get cold and continue to play that as well as they do, then sure, I get it. Why risk them? But if it's going to mess with them or your team's momentum and you guys are on a tear, I'd say just leave it alone. Let them play.
Yeah, but even like with these first round buys, it's like the number one team always gets that first round buy. They get the rest. I kind of don't like that, and it's for the same reason where it's like, okay, you're going to have two teams. One's going to be fresh because they're rested, and the other team is just going to come out, they're going to come off a victory, and they're going to be hungry, where you have this team who just sat and waited, and it's kind of like it takes momentum away from you, especially for, a young team. I can see a team like Tom Brady and Drew Brees, these older quarterbacks. So it's like, okay, let's give them that 1 week rest. I can see that. But then for the younger teams that has the younger quarterbacks, it's kind of hard to see, it's kind of hard for me to see like why do they have to rest. I mean, I don't own the NFL. I don't do anything with the NFL, but I would want to see. I don't know. I just don't like that 1 week bye. I kind of hate that 1 week bye.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, but I guess it would cost more money to add another team.
Yeah.
Another bracket or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I guess it. Yeah, we don't know. We I guess they know better than us. But the only thing I hear a lot of players, they're happy about the rest, I guess.
Yeah. Of course.
But players are always bitching about being tired anyway, and they want they don't look at the bigger picture. So it's always when you're dealing with that, you're dealing with players, their health.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the business side of it, the corporate side of it.
The business side of it, man. That's what kills me.
Mm-hmm. And that's, I mean, I hate to say and be that guy, but a lot of it is just fueled by money. I mean, I think if these players could have a 14-week season, they would. They take a beating.
They do. They do.
So, but I do get the feeling that players nowadays though really do put their health first more than back in the days. Back in the days, these guys were getting. They were getting used out there on the field, and a lot of them dealt with all these health issues years later. And so these younger guys seem to be like, you know what, I'm not playing.
Yeah. And it's like we didn't even know about it till like Junior Seau, ends up committing suicide because he was having all that post-traumatic, brain syndrome because of the effects of football. And it's like we as fans were like, oh my God, I love the way Junior Seau is laying it out on the field. And like, but then later on we're like, whoa, man, I didn't realize he was going through all that. And so when I see the rules going on right now with the NFL and the whole helmet rule, I'm for it. It's like, it's the safety. I have 2 kids playing high school football, so I kind of like that safety precaution that they're putting in. But then I also hate the fact that, like when you have a Tom Brady and everyone says like, oh, he's better than Montana. Yeah, he's good. Is he better than Montana? He never would have survived the Montana era. He never would have survived that hurt Jim. If he was the one that got hit by Jim Burt, Brady never would have came back on the field. Brady never would have been playing football for the rest of his life after that.
Shout out to Nick Dillon. Don't let him hear how you're talking about Tom Brady. That's
Nick Dillon.
He's got a bromance with Tom Brady.
Man. But it's kind of hard.
Blasphemy what you're saying.
It's kind of hard because I'm a Tom Brady fan because he's a Bay Area guy, but I can't stand New England. I can't stand the Patriots. And now that he's in Tampa Bay, it's like, I like the Patriots when Steve Grogan was the quarterback. I don't know if you even remember that. That's when they had their logo with the guy that was hiking the football. You ever seen that logo?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the Oilers? No.
The Oilers had the Oilers.
Yeah. They had the guy with the hat and gotcha.
Yeah, no, they had a guy who was dressed up in a Patriot outfit. He had a football between his legs, like he was getting ready to hike it. Yeah, that's the Patriots that I like. Yeah, that's the Patriots that I like. Patriots that was getting dominated by the Bears in the Super Bowl.
I mean, I don't know. I go back. I guess if there was an AFC team that I ever rooted for, it would be the Patriots, even aside from when the Giants played them. Yeah. Because, I watched them when they had Bledsoe and then when they made the transition into Brady. So I've watched Brady's whole career.
Yeah.
I don't know. And listen, I played O-line in high school. And I'm always a sucker for a team with a great offensive line. And the Patriots and Bill Belichick coming from, the Giants and coaching under Tuna. Yeah. I mean, I like the Patriots. I go for them. But then, like you said, I'm still a fan of Tom Brady too. I mean, I like seeing him on the Bucs and still having a chance. Is there a score, by the way? Or
it's 13-13. Here we go. I'll give you a little sound bite right here.
Each kicker is 2 for 2. Each team has a touchdown, and we are tied at 13.
Halftime.
This divisional matchup, first time.
Halftime.
Playoffs, man.
Brady just overthrew a receiver that was close enough to be a touchdown, but the guy didn't have control coming down. So this is a good game. This is one of the games that I couldn't wait to see, just because these are actually 2 teams that – you don't know who's going to win. It's going to be one, it's going to be the other. So that's the reason why I wanted to watch this game. Kansas City Browns, I was really hoping, again, Cleveland will pull it off against the number 1 seed, but, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
I still don't know why Tampa Bay was ranked number 5, man. That's it's pretty low. I guess Tom Brady was just sandbagging throughout the whole season. It's like, come playoffs time.
That's Brady, man. He's just a switch.
Yeah.
Like, just get me there. Just get me to the dance.
We should get Nick Dillon on the phone right now. Nick Dillon, how do you feel about Tom Brady? Who do you think is going to win this? Who do you think is going to win this playoffs?
He's wearing a Tampa Bay jersey right now.
Oh my God. Would you ever do that? Would you ever be a big fan of a player and they change teams and let's say Lawrence Taylor leaves the Eagles and I know everybody had an LT jersey back in New York back in the days. And let's say he leaves and goes to Philadelphia, NFC East rival. Would you buy a Lawrence Taylor jersey in Philadelphia?
I don't know. Maybe, but I can't say that I would because I was a huge so tight end is one of my favorite positions, if not my favorite position in football. And I was a huge Jeremy Shockey fan when he played on the Giants. Yeah. And when he left the Giants, I was still a big Shockey fan, but I never got a jersey. So
where did he go after
I don't
the Giants?
know.
Do you remember?
I think it was the Saints. I think New Orleans.
Yeah, that's right. That was New Orleans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same way. Montana played for the 49ers for how many years? And then when he decides to leave and plays one more or a couple more years for Kansas City, I was like, I'm not going to buy a Kansas City jersey. I didn't even buy a Kansas City jersey when Alex Smith played for Kansas City. So it's just one of those things where I got to stay loyal to my team. I got to stay loyal to the team. I'm a big fan of the Niners, love what the Niners do. So,
right. You know what? Maybe if it was a situation like, if I had like a man cave and I was putting up jerseys or something like that, maybe, but I don't know that I would be able to wear, another team's jersey. It's just when I was younger, I had a and this was back when, like I said, New York, it was different. It was more about matching, your clothes. And I actually had a Jerry Rice.
Yeah, you mentioned that
jersey and a Deion Sanders jersey. So, I've worn other teams' jerseys, but actually that's probably the only time, honestly, that I can think of.
I would think the only jersey that I have other than a 49er jersey, and again, this is when I was young, was a Tony Dorsett jersey. And it wasn't even like an authentic jersey that, the Dallas Cowboys wear. It was a jersey that had the mesh that said the Cowboys 33 and Dorsett in the back. And that's probably the only time. And I just, it's funny because I remember I was at a movie theater. I was probably under 10 or maybe like 10 or 11, and I had to use the bathroom, and I'm walking around with my jersey, and then this guy he was wearing a cowboy. It's funny because he's wearing a cowboy hat. He had a long beard. I'm coming out of the bathroom. He goes, "You're a Cowboy fan? What the fuck's wrong with you?" And I'm like, yeah. And again, I didn't know there was, a Niner Cowboy thing going on here. I'm like, yeah. And it was that same year where we ended up beating the 49ers with the catch, the Cowboys, the White Clark. So it was that same year. So, but I still, even with that catch, I was just like, all right, they got a good catch. I can do that. I can do that.
Now that I think about it, when I was in junior high school, you just reminded me. That was back when starter jackets were the thing.
Yes.
And everybody had the same starter jacket, so I was like, I got to be different. And I ended up getting and this was after kind of the heyday of NWA. So I had the Raiders starter jacket, but it was like a 3/4 length. Everyone had the shorter ones, and I had the hat to match. And everyone would always like, "You're a Raiders fan?" I'm like, "No." It's like I just like the jacket.
The color, it's black. Come on, what do you expect? I think everybody had a Raider. I mean, even I had a Raider starter jersey, starter jacket. And I think everybody had at one point, and we thank NWA for all this because they made the dark colored starters look cool, right?
Yeah, they did.
It's like I was walking around at one point with a Los Angeles Kings hat, and I didn't even know they were a hockey team. They're like, "Hey, do you like Gretzky?" I'm like, "Gretzky? Hey, he plays for the Kings." I'm like, "Sacramento Kings?" Like, no, the LA Kings. Like, there's a LA Kings. You're wearing that hockey hat. This is hockey? This is what Dr. Dre was wearing in the video, straight out of Compton. Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. And just growing up, and it's like trying to, I was never one of those guys where it's like I was gonna please my dad one way or the other. If I'm not gonna be a Niner fan, I'm gonna let you know I'm not gonna be a Niner fan. But for some reason, the Niner fan got embedded in me, so I became a Niner fan. Kind of the same thing with you, with the whole pick your team. All right, I'll pick the Giants. But just imagine growing up if you weren't, or we weren't the team, the city's fan. Just imagine growing up if I'm trying to think of a team, Seattle. God,
yeah.
Jeez, I'd never be a Seattle fan. But just imagine, jeez.
Yeah, it'd be a little weird. I don't know. It's funny enough. My brothers and my uncle made me choose.
Yeah.
But my dad wasn't really into football too much at that time. My older brother played in the league, like a little league, but my dad wasn't really into it. He started getting into it later when I started teaching, because to him, he would watch it and it just seemed like a bunch of guys running into a pile. He's like, I don't get it. What's going on?
What are they doing?
What are they doing? But over time, he started really getting into it. So now he's a big fan.
And he's a Giants fan, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember at your picnic, they were all giving me that look like, motherfucker wearing a fucking Niner jersey at this New York / Daly City picnic. Hey, man, come on. I'm a Niner fan. What do you expect? Oh, man. But it's football, the way football is, especially even with this COVID season, it's fun. It's still fun to watch, man. I mean, we still get our kicks. The only thing I didn't do this year was play fantasy football, and that's because our fantasy team was $200 to just, to get in. I'm like, $200 on a COVID season is not worth it for me. But it was still football, still football. I really hate the COVID procedures that's going on. I mean, I don't know if you had any issues with that with your team, but we had here in San Francisco, the 49ers had a couple players where they had to sit, because of COVID precautions. So it's like, oh, come on, man. What, this is terrible right now. But it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah. No, Giants, I don't think we did, but I mean, we just had really bad injuries early on, and I mean, we lost Saquon early, so that just
that killed it for you guys.
Yeah.
Let me see. I'm trying to look right here. What's your you guys are expected to draft in the 10th round, and mock drafts are saying you guys are going after a defensive linebacker. That's what it's saying. Do you think you guys need a linebacker?
No. I mean, you could use we have Martinez. I mean, you could always use
I like that guy, Blake Martinez. Man,
yeah.
Dude, I'm a big fan of his.
Yeah. I think we still need to work on our O-line personally.
Yeah, I totally believe you.
We got to give Danny Dimes some time. We got to give Saquon a break. I'm always a fan of starting with your O-line, protecting your quarterback, and then spread from there.
The Niners are predicted to go number 12, and their mock draft is saying that they're going to get a cornerback. I'm kind of on the same boat with you, where if you're going to keep Jimmy Garoppolo, which I think that's what's going to end up happening with the Niners, I think they should strengthen that O-line up, get a young kid out of, make him part of that O-line, make him, learn the way. I mean, our O-line was terrible this year. Even with the two backup quarterbacks that we had, they were terrible, So what do we do? Do we draft an O-line? Do we draft a quarterback? What does the Niners do? I don't know. That's something cool to, maybe touch on again later on after the Super Bowl and see where both teams are headed, down the line.
Are they really in talks with Deshaun Watson, or was that just like rumors?
Man, that's one of those. It's one of those. I'm pretty sure if you go to the Jets right now, they're like, yeah, let's get Deshaun Watson kind of thing. I'm pretty sure every team that needs a quarterback has that rumor in their back pocket. It's like, can we afford a Deshaun Watson? Can the Niners? He's expected to make $30 million with Houston. So Houston's either going to pay him that money and try to find a way to keep him, or they're going to dump him and try to make room for salary. If the Niners try to keep Deshaun or try to get Deshaun Watson, we have to give up a lot to just try to get him. Yeah. And I'm talking about, draft picks. Yeah. And do you want to do that without an O-line? Do you want to draft a quarterback without an O-line? Our O-line is okay. It's not, New England Patriots O-line back in the days, so, we're okay, but yeah, I'm kind of like, let's fix the O-line first and then go from there. I would love to see Deshaun Watson with the 49ers. I would. But again, all these teams right now that needs a quarterback, how many of those teams are saying the same thing that I'm saying? How many of them are saying that, I would love to see, Deshaun Watson with the New York Jets. I'm pretty sure Roe from, Woken Up Woke, and I'm pretty sure he would love to see Deshaun Watson with the Jets.
Oh my God, that's one guy I gotta give it to him. It's tough being a Jets fan.
Yes,
yes. They've been through a lot, and he is a diehard Jets fan. I mean, he wears a green blazer, he goes all out, and yeah, he's a true what do you call those, gangrene fan?
Gangrene. Is that what they're called?
Yeah,
gangrene.
Gangrene. Yeah, it's one of their nicknames.
I like the Jets. You guys are going to get Trevor Lawrence, which is kind of that's the mock draft. They're saying you guys are going to get Trevor Lawrence. I see Jacksonville.
I'm not a Jets fan.
I see Jacksonville Jaguars getting Trevor Lawrence, and I see Justin Fields going to the Jets. That's what I see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You guys are predicted again to draft 10th, and hopefully you guys get someone that can actually help the team this year. Hopefully.
Your mouth to God's ears.
Oh my God.
Question. Do you know where the Super Bowl is this year? Somebody asked me today, and I was like, I have no clue.
I believe it's in Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay.
Tampa Bay, yeah, because they had the college championship in Miami, and watching the college championship, they said they're going to be up the street, for the Super Bowl, and I'm assuming that's Tampa Bay. That's why a lot of Buccaneer fans are kind of hoping, Brady makes the Super Bowl, and here you brought up the Super Bowl.
Huge.
You brought up the Super Bowl, so let me ask you this: back in 2000, what's the year that they had the Super Bowl city here in San Francisco?
What year was that?
2017. Yeah, it was 14. It was the year after I don't remember. But did you end up going? Did you go to Super Bowl City? No? Okay. We did. We went. We wanted to go check it out. And it was once in a lifetime. It was the Carolina Panthers against, was it the Baltimore Ravens again?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was. Yeah. So it was a cool experience. The only thing I didn't like was the people that work there, or you can tell these guys were, hey, can you count to 10? Yes, you're hired. That's the kind of workers that were there. It's like, really? Really? But if you wanted that Super Bowl experience, man, for the kids, you could try to kick a field goal. For the adults, you could have tried to kick a field goal. And if you ever been to Moscone Center, they had this one where you had to try to kick a 30-yard field goal. And if you made that 30, you keep going back every 10 yards. And then I think the longest was 50. And we were sitting there the whole time, face against the net, watching this one guy make it from 30, make it from 40. And then when he came to the 50-yard, he totally shanked it. I was like, oh my God. And then, the guy that worked there was like, come on, man, if you make it, we're going to get you on a rookie contract and get you on the field next season. And this poor kid was like, really? All right.
Like, shit.
Like, dude, that guy's half drunk, man. That's how I just go. That guy's half drunk, man. I don't think he even knows anything about football, man. Come on.
It's like, are you supposed to be here?
He keeps every time the kid made the field goal, the guy kept going, yeah, touchdown. Like, no, dude, it's a field goal. Point after. But man, this was fun. I love sharing memories with us. Let me ask you this: have you ever been to a Super Bowl? Was there ever a Super Bowl in New York or near New York, and your team actually made it?
No. No. It was supposed to have been in New York one year, but I guess that they didn't get the bid. But no, I can't. The closest I ever came to anything like that was just after the Giants won. I happened to be in 07. I happened to be there right when I was working where the parade was.
Yeah.
And so my route was right at the beginning of the parade, so I got to see the team on the bus and all that stuff, and like that was like for me like the highlight. But no, we never got close to where the championship was at home and our team made it.
We did back in 1989. The 49ers made the Super Bowl. We were playing against the Cincinnati Bengals again. But if you guys are from the area, in 1989 we had that big earthquake. They were supposed to be playing in Candlestick Park. Candlestick was not ready for the Super Bowl. So they had to move the Super Bowl to Stanford. And if you were one of those guys, and it's cool because Stanford, if you've been to Stanford back then, it was wooden seats. Everybody was complaining like, oh, we're going to get splinters. So the 49ers went out and took cushions and they put it in all the wooden seats area. So if you're one of those guys right now that has one of those cushions, because you were able to take it home after, that was yours. And if you have one of those, that was a cool souvenir to get. And that was kind of like, I want to say that was the first Super Bowl I actually sat and watched the whole thing. Because, now the commercials are getting a little funnier. So it's kind of like, all right, let's go watch it for the commercials. So yeah, it was kind of a good thing for the Bay Area, because I don't remember us having a Super Bowl city, and if we did, I was too young enough to go out there anyways. But I don't remember if there was anything like that was going on over here during the '89 season. But that was the only time the 49ers made the Super Bowl and played in the area they're supposed to play in. Could have done it again, a couple of years, ago, but they played at Levi's, but that didn't happen. That did not happen.
Close, but no cigar.
Close, but no cigar. As I like to say it. All right, man. Again, this has been fun. Super Bowl memories, talking about Super Bowl, talking about the NFL. Whatever team you guys like. If we didn't mention your team, that's because your team sucks. Bronco fans, sorry, your team sucks, so we're not going to mention the Broncos. But if we didn't mention your team, that's because there was no reason why we didn't have to mention them. So that was a good thing. But this was fun. I totally enjoy anything football, and we try to flip the script, talk about something a little bit more positive. We will get back into those weird alien, I guess, kind of stuff. Whatever we can come up with coming on. See how that goes. We will have another guest. I don't know if Joe's working on a guest. I'm working on a few guests, but my guests are shy and doesn't want to do anything with 3 people. So I'm like, dude, come on, really? Really? So we'll see how that goes. Shy. Yeah, don't be shy. I try to tell him. It's like, well, I don't know if I can talk to you. I was like, oh, okay. We'll figure this out. But this has been fun, and it's glad to be back. I'm glad to have Joe back, and definitely without a podcast last week, it was kind of different. But again, just like any ordinary job, you need to take a break every now and then, right?
Yeah. Gotta take care of home.
Take care of home. All right, guys. Until next week, we will see you then. We are the Ordinary Joes.
Peace.
Ordinary Joe's Podcast.